Actually going to call Pat up to the stage. My buddy Pat Yongpradit from teachai.org. Very cool. We love our former teachers, and I've had the privilege over the last year, as I've been building my journey of AI for education, to be buddies with Pat, and then also to be a part. AI for Education is part of teachai.org, which is an enormously important initiative about this work. So Pat, my big thing, everyone here is answering the same question. What is your moonshot with AI in education? So Pat, you got it.
Amanda, and it's been a pleasure to be your buddy. I've learned so much from you. I want to thank Amanda Bickerstaff, all the other Amandas at AI for Education. I want to thank Daniel, and I want to thank Ashley for Corey for having me here. Hi, everyone. My name is Pat Yongpradit. I'm talking to you from the East Coast of the US in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm the Chief Academic Officer of Code.org, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the idea that every student in every school should have the opportunity to learn computer science, and in this day and age, AI as well. So we've been doing work around AI in education for a while from the computer science lens, and recently we kicked up this initiative called Teach AI, which is an initiative steered by Code.org, ETS, ISTE, Khan Academy, and the World Economic Forum. And the whole point of Teach AI is to guide education leaders and policymakers in this current age, and use this AI opportunity as a way of really rethinking education, kind of like what Amanda was just talking about. I'm going to go ahead and share some slides for you all so that I can start to talk about this particular dream I have, my moonshot. All right. So, like I said, I work for Code.org, and I lead an initiative called Teach AI. But before all of that, I was a computer science teacher. And this is actually a picture of me, a young me from 2013, with some students of mine. And it was a great honor to be teaching computer science at this school that let me do really amazing things with students, really innovative things. And I chose to teach computer science because I believe in empowering kids to become creators of world-changing technologies rather than just passive consumers of stuff marketed to them. And my kids designed apps and games for social causes. And that really drew kids in to computer science in a way that we never had before. We tripled the number of girls in computer science, and we overall brought in diversity in computer science programs at this school. So what kind of games were created? Games like Nashville 1960, where kids explored the idea of nonviolent conflict and actually created a game, a button mashing game, where you had to actually learn about the civil rights movement during that time and understand what the nonviolent conflict movement was all about, and then actually manage people who were protesting the laws at the time by sitting in at a diner and in seats that they weren't supposed to be sitting in. And so they had to build up courage by pressing, you had to mash buttons to build up the courage, but the courage would drop and things would happen to reduce the courage, and then you had to press it faster. So it's a fun button mashing game, and it was a cooperative game, actually. It could be two-player. But what was wonderful about it is kids learned about something that was really useful to them. Kids also created silly games like how to get a date with an environmentalist. And this was a lot of fun. It's like a choose your own adventure. And what happens is that it actually incorporated video, and someone would talk, and then you would try to answer their questions so that you could eventually get a date with this environmentalist. So super silly games. And these were amazing experiences for kids. But to get to the technical level of being able to turn good ideas into apps and games, they needed at least 2 years of programming classes. And now, obviously, with generative AI and like plain old vanilla ChatGPT, 2 years is now more like 2 months or even 2 days. So if you don't know, obviously, we know that Gen AI can create text very easily from large language models, but that text also includes programming code in a variety of languages, in fact. So who here watching me right now hasn't had an idea for an app or a game that they were super excited about. All of you had some wonderful idea, yet you haven't had the technical capability to turn that idea into a product. And I know many of you believe that these are like the next billion-dollar ideas, and they might be. So in the end, so like the point here is to describe my moonshot, and my moonshot is that everyone in the world can now become or will become a maker of world-changing technologies, or just community or even personal life-changing technologies with the assistance of generative AI. So I promised myself, folks, in this talk, because I don't normally give moonshot style talks. I actually do a lot of guidance work and policy work with state education agencies and ministries of education, alongside partners like AI for Education, but also like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Amazon, AI EDU, and CCSSO, and a whole bunch of other organizations. Go to teachai.org if you want to see all the organizations that are part of TeachAI, that together we educate leaders and policymakers. So that's my normal day job. So I'm not really used to like a moonshot kind of opportunity. And so this was actually kind of hard for me, because I don't even feel like this is actually much of a moonshot, because we already have specialized platforms like PlayLab AI, which some of you all, I believe, have worked with just recently. And then there are other platforms like Poe, P-O-E, Hugging Face, everyone knows about that. And even, again, plain old vanilla ChatGPT allows you to create things that you were never able to create before on your own. I was at a session hosted by Stanford University at the recent ASU GSV AI Revolution show. So shout out to everyone else who was there. And that event was a prelude to the annual ASU GSV Summit. And that event, the air show, was dedicated to K-12 educators. And so during one of these sessions, Stanford University brought together over 100 educators in this super packed room and taught them how to make their own chatbots for their own personal and professional purposes. Now, the idea of creating your own chatbot really has only existed for less than a year for like normal people. And it was amazing to see people get so excited about turning their ideas into reality, whether, again, for personal or professional uses. And it was actually quite beautiful. I took many pictures and I just soaked it in, because I saw normal people who don't have a computer science background, utilizing computational thinking skills, design thinking, and just making in general to create these real useful products. Now imagine with this Dreammaker that it wasn't just chatbots that teachers were creating, but teachers could create anything. And actually not just teachers, but everybody could create anything. And that's where the Dreammaker comes into play. I put a trademark on this. I have no idea whether someone's already making this kind of thing. More than likely, someone's working on it right now. And if you're a startup like that, making the make everything bot, then good luck to you. For now, I consider this a moonshot, because while we have like early platforms for making chatbots or maybe other things, my idea, my moonshot, is that you can create anything from this and instantly share it with the entire world. Imagine all of you having that power. We have some of that power right now, but with advances in these models and advances in these platforms and tools, we're probably going to see this happen. So I call it the Dreammaker for now. It's not just about apps and games, but empowering everyone, including you and I, to be creators in this world. And hopefully we can make the world a better place because of this. So for more ideas like this, including more practical ones, TeachAI actually guides education leaders and policymakers to create the fertile environment so that we can have dreams like this actually come true. Unfortunately, right now in the US, there are only 9 states that provide any level of AI guidance. And Amanda and her team go all over the place with districts and states and all that, training teachers. And there just aren't enough outfits like that doing the work to provide AI guidance. So a bunch of us at Teach AI got together and created a toolkit. You can take a picture of that QR code or just go to teachai.org/toolkit to find that toolkit. You can use that to guide your school systems. It's a toolkit to create guidance, basically. And if you're into policy work, like at the district or state or country level, you can use this resource, which launched about 2 weeks ago. And you can find that at teachai.org/policy. It has a bunch of informational briefs for informing your colleagues and senior leaders, but it also has policy recommendations. And lastly, if you want to just learn more about LinkedIn, about AI, first off, you should follow Amanda. She's quite prolific, and if you haven't had enough of AI stuff from Amanda, you can also follow me as well. Click that QR code, follow me. It's been a pleasure to talk to you all today, and I hope that this moonshot someday comes true.